a sexual predator? Probably.
Let's go,
Allegedly.
Google debunkers.
Let's go, Google debunkers. We are going to need that Google debunking skill for this particular adventure. In fact, I believe I have a phrase lined up on the soundboard.
Google debunkers.
There we go. So, Spirit Science is a wacky channel. And it is mostly about a guy who allegedly a sexual predator. We've gone down that rabbit hole. I don't want to go down it again. I remember covering it. I don't remember what the outcome was. However, he also runs a cult, specifically about around Thoth, and like Egyptian deities, but recontextualized through a hippie woo transcendentalist nonsense lens. He peddles a book called like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, purporting to be essentially that the history of humanity is that we're aliens that were undermined by the Jews and put into kind of this fallen state on Earth. Also, there is a spaceship under the pyramids of Giza where Thoth is working to free himself, and also yeah, you can control reality with your mind. You get superpowers, etc., etc., etc. It sounds like schizo shit. I mean, yeah, kind of, except I would expect it to be a bit more coherent if it was. Did he rip off Scientology? Well, look, literally, there are like dozens of hours of content on this channel about how his religious, view of the world works, and it's insanity and nonsense. But yeah. Anyway, let's learn about. Let's start with the 7 symbols of Atlantis. I do want that.
We've talked a lot about Atlantis.
That's right. We're diving into spirit science, folks.
And the evidence of ancient cultures on this channel. You might be familiar with our Anunnaki.
Oh yeah, he also animates all of his videos. And yeah, believes Atlantis was a real place. What's a thought to do?
Movie, or the classic Spirit Science human history movie. But in recent years, we have found one of the most profound series on our mysterious history to be none other than Gaia's own Ancient Civilizations.
Oh my god! Okay, we're literally just gonna pretend to be awestruck by an ancient alien's ripoff. Excellent stuff. We're 15 seconds in. I'm sold. I'm hooked, baby. Let's go.
They've produced a comprehensive series exploring the mystic origins of humanity, with each episode diving thoroughly into the mysterious connections between different cultures.
Also, by the way, if you subscribe to Gaia, I just want you to know this is your wake-up call. That is hippie woo nonsense central, okay? Nothing on Gaia is worth your time or your money. Get out now before you're in too deep.
Ancient sites, and finding out the truth about who we are and where we really come from. Today, I'm excited to share with you a special clip from the Ancient Civilization series about the 7 symbols of Atlantis. But before I do...
Oh boy! We are in for it! Oh boy, Google debunkers! Get your Googles ready.
Google debunkers.
There's something even more exciting you should know. In just a few weeks, this coming August 17th and 18th, Gaia is going to be hosting the 2024 Ancient Civilizations Conference. This is a landmark event at the Gaiasphere that you can attend both online and in person, celebrating the new season launch of Ancient Civilizations. The event will see some really amazing speakers taking the stage, such as Greg Braden, Matthias De Stefano, and Dr. Robert Schoch, among many others. to explore the latest evidence of a sophisticated human civilization that spanned the globe in the pre-Diluvian era.
Okay, just to unpack what he just said, okay? You should go and live stream. Oh, that would be so fun. You know, maybe in not an election year, I will do that. You know, I can't promise anything, obviously, but if, like, the channel keeps growing and I hit a certain size, I would love to get, like, a mobile streaming rig and go to, like, a place like this. That would be so funny. So, to unpack what he just said there, he just alleged the existence of a globe-spanning empire of humanity in the pre-flood times. The pre-flood, the alleged flood that, like, wiped clean the earth and separated all the civilizations, is what they think, you know, sunk Atlantis, which they consider to be the heart of this globe-spanning empire. It is truly, what we're talking about here is actually insane. There's no evidence for this whatsoever. The only thing that is happening here is like, oh man, these guys over here discovered how to build pyramids, but these people over here also discovered how to build pyramids. And it's like, yeah, pyramids are a basic shape. You know, usually different civilizations over enough time are going to figure out the concepts of different shapes. It's a conspiracy! Beano the Amoeba, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Also, Nebula, welcome. I saw your collab with Surus. Glad he introduced me to you. As another trans girl, I love seeing more visibility of people like us. I'm doing my best. I'm doing it. I'm out there. I'm trying real hard. We're gonna be bigger than Hassan, baby. We're still very small, though. Shapes are a conspiracy. Unironically, some conspiracy theorists do believe that, yes. Like, it's truly next level. When you're in so deep that you're literally going to conferences about your fringe conspiracy theory, yeah, that you're in the territory of like, maybe shapes are a conspiracy.
I am happy to share that I will also be attending this event,
Yeah.
though not speaking on stage. And I'd like to invite you to come as well. If you do come in person, please don't be afraid to say hi. I'd love to meet you. But if you're unable to attend physically, you can also attend digitally. You'll find links in the description.
But can you attend spiritually? What if you're at a high enough spiritual plane to be able to attend the event, you know, remotely, without the use of technology? I don't know. I'm just spitball. I'm just asking the hard questions. What's the price of admission if you try and attend spiritually? Is it still $5? Or do you have to fork over like soul coins?
To sign up and attend. But now, without further ado, please enjoy this exclusive clip from Ancient Civilizations, The 7 Symbols of Atlantis.
I feel like I might get clapped for this. I'm going to give it a shot. If YouTube shuts it down, we get as far as we get on this particular one. We'll just move on to a different spirit science video. Here we go. 7 Symbols of Atlantis. Let's go.
Just out.
What's the astral plane? Well, in D&D, it's a really cool space that connects all other planes of existence. So, like, in D&D, you can go from, like, the material world, you know, the normal world, into the astral plane, and traverse that to get to, like, you know, the realms of fire, water, air, earth, heaven, hell, etc. The far plane, which is, you know, a realm of madness. In reality, it doesn't exist, so every other explanation of what it is basically the same as what I gave you. Lady Domina, thank you for gifting
Fighting
a
the
tier 1
war
sub.
on white names is a never-ending war.
It's true. And you have officially put us in the striking zone. And by the striking zone, I mean you've gotten us over the 80 sub hump. We are now at 100 sub goal. Thistles for Eyes, thank you for gifting a membership. Guys, thank you so much. That's right, I'm gonna keep on making content until you guys, until we run out. And currently, we've got 5 pieces of content. We're working on 1 right now. Keep those subs coming. So, like the train station in the Matrix, kind of. It's more, you can think of it more like the spiritual equivalent of an ocean. That you have to sail across the ocean to reach other places, you know? But spiritually. When will the content run out? Who can say? That's dependent on you guys. But let's move on.
Outside the quaint town of Puente Viejo, Spain, is a cave system known as Monte Castillo. And within this system, a specific cave called El Castillo contains some of the oldest human cave paintings.
El Castillo. I'm going to do some Google debunking.
Google
here.
debunkers.
And just have the Wikipedia page of this open right off screen, so we can see where exactly they go off script.
Dating back to 41,000 years ago. For centuries, the folk...
Yeah, the astral plane in, like, D&D Spooky Bird is, like, a big-ass space, but then there's, like, the corpses of dead gods floating around in it, or, like, strange, you know, behemoths that swim around looking for prey. There's, like, an entire ecosystem out there of, like, monsters and monster hunters, and, you know, it's a whole thing in D&D. In real life, again, doesn't exist.
The focus of paleoanthropology has been the representational art that our ancestors left behind in caves. Eye-catching drawings of deer, horse, bison, and human figures. But in 2012, Genevieve von Petzinger, paleoanthropologist and researcher for the University of Victoria, discovered something overlooked.
I'm sorry. I feel like I need to make sure. Genevieve.
This is pure conspiroid shit.
Von Petzinger.
Google debunkers.
Okay, who is this? I just want to know who this is. Fearless parenting with Genevieve von Petzinger doesn't seem on topic here. She did write a book about how to interpret ancient symbolism. Here's an article from 2022 about like similarities between like the symbology in this cave and other caves in Europe. Maybe that's what's gonna be here. Oh wait, nope. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, ah yes, you see, she saw that different symbols, or the same symbols, kept appearing in caves all across Europe. And she, like, from there, they're going to be like, see, this is evidence of a globe-spanning civilization. But in reality, it's just that human populations move and disseminate knowledge, and, like, it's not really that surprising, actually. Like, kind of like how, like, most of Europe uses, like a Latin alphabet and, like, Latin roots for words. You know, it's kind of like that. That doesn't mean that Europe today is a unified empire.
And researcher for the University of Victoria discovered something overlooked by many experts. She analyzed ancient art from over 370 ancient caves all over the world and discovered that since antiquity,
Oh, not all over. Okay, not just Europe, all over the world. Okay.
humans have been using the same 32 symbols, geometric signs that form some kind of alphabet.
Okay. But like, let's take a look at some of these, okay? Because there's a pretty, there's a limited number of like symbols you can make in isolation. Like, oh, an X? Oh, did different people use X's? Circles? If they had a circle, it must indicate a globe-spanning empire. Also, something tells me that the Spanish tectiform is probably unique to Spain. I just want to throw that one out there. Just gonna from the name. Also, oh, they came up with hands. Gee, I wonder where they got the hand idea. Oh, negative hand and positive hand. My God. Yeah, they discovered dots and lines. Interesting stuff. I let me just put it this way. I think if you're using basic basic symbolism, I think you can very easily come up with like how a civilization would come up with all of these same markings.
Von Petzinger suggests that the 32 signs do seem to have communicative properties, and we
Gee whiz. You mean symbols communicate something? I never would have guessed.
can possibly trace the origins of our first writing system back to these ancient symbols. How do the symbols that we see today in our religions, our flags, and our institutions connect us to an ancient past that we have barely scratched the surface of understanding?
I mean, insofar as they are... They have symbols, like, I guess. You know, like, insofar as, like, they use symbols to communicate back then, and we still use symbols to communicate today. I guess there's that similarity. I don't know. How much you want to bet the Nazca lines are mentioned? Oh, Nebula, that's gotta happen.
And when this is revealed, what will it say about humanity and its future?
The use of symbols to communicate ideas goes back into our...
Okay, who's Greg Braden, scientist? I do want to know.
Google debunkers.
Okay. Greg Braden. Well, his website says he is Greg Braden, bridging science, spirituality, and the real world. The new human story. Oh, he has a little welcome video on his website.
Hello, and welcome
It's 7 minutes long. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute.
to the portal that is bringing you and me together right now. This is the one and only official Greg Braden website. It is the one and only official website for Wisdom Traditions. I am Greg Braden.
I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of cute. This is kind of cute. It's quack shit, but it's kind of cute.
This is my company and this is my website. And I want to thank you right now just for taking a moment to click on the link that's bringing us together in the way that we are, so I can share with you a little bit about why I've...
Yeah, having like a little welcome video on your website. Hello, you might be on this website thinking I'm a total complete crank, and you'd be correct. Quaint? Yeah, quaint, cute, same thing.
built this site, what my intentions were, what it means, and how you can use this in your life. You know, I did a radio interview not long ago, and
Greg, we're busy people. We've given you a minute of your time. You're talking about a recent radio interview you did? Come on, Greg.
The interviewer asked me a question right off the bat in the very beginning that I wasn't expecting. He said, "Greg Braden, why can't you stick with one topic like everyone else?" He said, "You are all over the map." He said, "Are you writing about ancient traditions and ancient civilizations, or human potential and new discoveries in biology and neurons and the heart?" He said, "Are you writing about human potential, or are you writing about spirituality? Why can't you stick with one topic like everyone else?"
Okay, that was too much time. New York Times best-selling author. Amazing. Are we following an ancient script? What if cyber attack and global grid breakdown? Climate hysteria. Cool. Love a guy promoting climate change denial. Amazing stuff. Well, what is his YouTube like? Or X account, I guess. There we go.
Hello, everybody. This is James.
Oh, God, nope. You are ancient, timeless, and all-knowing. Okay. Heavenly Parents, a guided meditation. Earthly parents as a mirror to our divine mother and father. Okay. All right. Crank.
Our history long before language was even created. When we talk about the study of symbols,
He has a video on here called Holographic Consciousness. Oh! He also has a video about the Anunnaki's return. Okay, yeah, he's also part of this weird cult. Gotcha.
today, there are different kinds of symbols that we become accustomed to, sometimes without even thinking about it. There is a form of language that has no words and no sound, and I'm fascinated by this form.
How do you know it has no words and no sound? How do you know that? No, Jet, how do you know that? All the people who would have known what the sounds and the words were are gone and have been gone for tens of thousands of years. How do you know they didn't have that?
Because it may represent one of the most advanced and sophisticated
also, hieroglyphs have sounds.
forms of communication that's called an ideogram. And an ideogram does precisely what it suggests. It is a symbol that represents an entire idea or an entire concept without ever uttering a word or a phrase or a sound to describe that idea, and without needing the complex language of alphabet to describe the nuances of that idea.
I'm really sorry, okay? If you've somehow fallen into this, that's not how symbols work. Like, you can use drawings to symbolize things, of course, but like if you're talking about like a language, or like yes, as you could see from this image communicates what the Star of David means, and like no it doesn't. You think if somebody just had this symbol, they could like reverse engineer like its importance to Judaism? No. Like, what crankery
My
is this?
favorite trip in an Uber was having a driver who was an old Peruvian man that told me he was part Anunnaki and was able to summon UFOs.
That guy was probably part of this cult Lily Love stuff. Like, genuinely, the Anunnaki is part of like the Emerald Tablet of Thoth. It's what spirit science talks about a lot. The Anunnaki. So like, unironically might be part of the same cult. Nice, I believe him. Do not join the cult, chat. Do not join the cult. Remember, hold strong to the Google debunking.
Google debunkers.
If these symbols are more complex than our current written language, does the infamous number 32 have any correlation to the ancient past?
Oh god, are we really peddling in numerology? Are we really that desperate? The infamous number 32. Hey, guess what? A lot of numbers can be correlated with bad things. Doesn't mean there's a relationship there. Oh no, one bad thing happened. The infamous number 1. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense. How the fuck is 32 special? Numerology is honestly astrology for dipshits. And I already don't like astrology.
The significance of the number 32 in the Western occult tradition is highly significant.
Is it? Jack Carey. Who is this? Literally, the number 1 result on this guy is from the Gaia website. The founder of the Paranormal Intelligence Agency and researcher at Crypto Four Corners. In the past, he's received a top-secret SCI security clearance, serving as an encrypted communication specialist on nuclear submarines. Plus, he is a published author of nonfiction works and poetry and has written the forewords for many books. Wow, I'm sold! Gee whiz! What kind of books has he written? Let's take a look. Paranormal Planet. It's 33 pages long. And $60. Oh wait, it's 152 pages. Why did you lie to me, Google? The Google debunking. Still, I'm not sure that this book is worth $60. I gotta say. And the other book that he has written, American Sorcerer. Cool stuff. The book presents here for the first time a potent new system for the practical application of magic techniques. This is the first book to synthesize the US military's remote viewing techniques with modern chaos magic theory and practice, creating a powerful new paradigm of magical application. This new system seeks to correctly harness human psychic functioning using scientific controls and protocols. Developed by America's top secret Stargate program. Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Guys, he's one of the proponents. He's one of the proponents of the Iraqi Stargate theory. Yeah, no. Guys. One of the fringe conspiracy theories out there is that the United States went in to occupy Iraq because we uncovered evidence that they had actual functional Stargates, like what we see in Stargate SG-1, the television show about a team of US agents going through portals to other worlds. It's a great show, by the way. Great show, but just need to take a look here. Just need to take a look. Yeah, people are literally using like stills from like the set of Stargate to try and like show this conspiracy theory. They just use like promotional stills from the show and like behind the scenes footage. It's actually pretty funny and also very sad. Oh wow, American Sorcerer costs $600 new. $300 used. My god. All right, this guy's rolling in the dough.
And it has to do with the so-called Tree of Life on the Kabbalah. So on the Tree of Life on the Kabbalah, there are 10 what are called sephira, or spheres. Each one of these spheres is supposed to
God, I wish we had BB here.
depict a different aspect of being. They also seem to depict other dimensions.
You know, I feel like the word seem is doing so much work. Doing so much work here. Why are we talking about Jewish mysticism? Because this is what the conspiracy singularity does to you, you know? It hooks you in on, like, one of the conspiracy theories. And, like, it just, like, you know, gish gallops, throws a lot out there to see what sticks, pulls you in, and then suddenly it is like a mishmash combination of all different faiths and beliefs in a nonsensical, like, just completely out there way.
And there are 22 paths that lead from Sephira to Sephira. Now, those 22...
Oh, man. There are 22 paths, 10 spheres, 32! Oh my god! No, but, like, this is what all numerology is. It's like, look at these two unrelated things. If you add them together, oh man, it makes a number, and that number you can find in other things, and add two different numbers together and get that number. And it starts making everything look like it's connected, when the only thing that it shares in common is, like, a number. And only if you do a certain number of, like, additions or subtractions or whatever.
Lead from Sephira to Sephira. Now, those 22 paths match the 22 trumps in the tarot deck, which I don't...
Trumps? What? What?
Oh, give me a break.
I'm gonna come.
Don't have to tell people is extremely mysterious. Nobody knows really where the tarot deck came from. It just appears with...
No one really knows where the tarot deck came from. It just appears. What's a girl to do?
all of this knowledge. Now, each one of the 22 trumps in the tarot is equated to one of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet.
Whoa, 22 letters? Is there another 10 that goes with that 22? Because that's how we get 32, baby. You take that home. You put some you put some veggies in there. You got a stew going, baby.
And since the Hebrew alphabet letters are equated to a numerical value, you have a perfect system of basically what you're seeing. So these 22 paths, represented by numbers, are the frequencies that separate these different dimensions one from the other.
Okay, I want you to explain to me exactly what you think a dimension is. I want this guy to sit down and explain to me why any of this was relevant to what they were talking about with cave paintings.
And you're looking at a map, an ancient map, left to humanity about that knowledge.
Oh, left to humanity. By whom? Really makes you think.
Could this ancient map of 32 correlate?
The number thing is not real. Numerology is just nonsense. It's astrology for the dumbest type of people.
With the 32 ancient symbols used around the world almost 40,000 years ago. Where could this map be leading us?
Oh man. Could it be leading us to the sand planet from Stargate? I forget what it's called. Is it Arrakis? No. That's Dune. Tatooine is Star Wars. Damn it. I can't remember.
One thing is for sure. that some of these ancient symbols seem to be burned into our subconscious.
Abydos, thank you, Lady Raincloud. Thank you. I knew I could rely on you.
So we have to ask, how is it possible that these symbols stay around for thousands upon thousands of years? Why does culture after culture adopt these symbols? There must...
Probably because they're really simple. Probably simple symbolism percolates through culture, as we see today, where, like, within the span of a generation, like, within the span of, like, 15 years, a new generation, like, develops an entirely new set of symbolism that is relevant to themselves, but they still understand, like, other types of symbolism. You know, the kids these days are talking about Skibbity Riz Ohio, okay? Like, you think we can't, like, have, like, a basic set of, like, symbols while also developing, like, distinct culture? Like, I don't know.
Be an inherent meaning. One explanation is the study of phosphenes. When NASA astronauts first went into outer space, they would look towards the center of the galaxy and cosmic rays would ping off the retina of their eye, and they started seeing various symbols, crosses, hash marks.
You're just describing light reflecting off of retinas. That is not them tapping into, like, the speed force or something. That's just their eyes being horrifically damaged by very powerful cosmic rays while they're outside the protection of the Earth's atmosphere. That's not... Guys, guess what? I have astigmatism in one of my eyes pretty badly. And, you know, when I squint my eye, I see a lot of crosses all of a sudden from all of the light sources in the room. Crazy! Am I tapping into another layer of reality? Or maybe I just have something mildly wrong with one of my eyes. Who can say? Cataracts is ancient aliens, yeah.
Spirals, and it led to NASA having to redesign the astronauts' helmets so that it would deflect the cosmic rays. And this led to a theory that perhaps some of these symbols are hardwired into our DNA.
That's really stupid, though. That theory is really stupid. Like, the symbols aren't hardwired into our DNA. You're just describing how light works. Like, even if you were like, well, it's a result, like, these symbols are more universal because these are problems that humans deal with regularly, you know, like, maybe you could make the argument that, like, oh, people had enough astigmatism in the past, had enough retinal damage in the past that, like, you know, they saw a lot of crosses, and that's one of the ways that it became, like, a symbol widely used across different, like, social groups in the ancient world. Like, you could maybe make that argument, like, but that's something that the environment dictates, not... It's not something that's hardwired into your DNA. Like, the symbol isn't in there in the nucleic acids, you know? Like, it's not... That's not how that works.
Whether this be the cross on a Christian church or the crest...
Oh, shit! Oh, guys, I should have seen this coming! I should have seen it coming! Dude! That's right. If you tap into the universe force by getting bombarded with cosmic rays outside the protection of Earth's atmosphere, you will come to realize that the cross of Christianity is a universal symbol communicated to us by God and the Anunnaki themselves, the space aliens, via destroying our retinas repeatedly.
Upon an Islamic mosque, all of these symbols are there to instill a certain emotional reaction, one that will trigger deep within us a connection with the sacred, with the divine, with the otherworldly. And these symbols have been used for tens of thousands of years. And of course, we still...
All right, who's this? Oh, Gobekli Tepe, Genesis of Gods. Andrew Collins. What's your deal? Do you want to be part of humanity's greatest unfolding? I don't know what that means. Join researcher and best-selling author Andrew Collins. Click on image and make the discoveries for yourself. I feel a little scared to click on this. Oh no. Now, far be it from me to judge a book by its cover, but this is the website made by someone who's deeply unwell. Okay. All right, we're just gonna move on here. I'm not even gonna tackle these ideas. Yeah, I have just returned from Contact in the Desert, one of the USA's largest UFO conventions. Okay, we know exactly what kind of crank you are.
Have been used for tens of thousands of years, and of course, we still see them as important today.
If we take these ancient 32 symbols and we look through antiquity, we can see how they have been formed into much more concrete images. But these concrete images began to hold a certain...
Wow, multiple civilizations learned how to make wheels? That's crazy.
...frequency and meaning throughout time, meanings we still hold today. Experts suggest there are 7 main ones: the Vesica Piscis, the Star of David, the Ankh, the Cross, the Chicana, the swastika, and the crescent moon. If we go...
Well, I'm glad you included that one in there.
...back into antiquity, how has the meaning of these symbols changed? And most importantly, how do all of these symbols bring us back to an ancient civilization known as Atlantis?
That's right, baby. We haven't even gotten to how all of this is related to Atlantis yet. We haven't even made it that far.
We first start with the star and crescent. It is an iconographic symbol used in...
Gee whiz, where could they have gotten the idea? Where could all of the human civilizations on Earth have gotten the idea for a crescent moon? What might account for this similarity across all the planets? What could it mean? Where could they have gotten this idea? Anime? Yeah, it must have been an anime.
Various historical contexts, but is
this Ancient Aliens? This is a knockoff of Ancient Aliens from Gaia, I guess.
Best known today as a symbol of the Ottoman Empire, Turkey, and Pakistan. It is also often considered as a symbol of Islam by extension.
The crescent symbol is not simply a sign of the moon, but it is...
I mean, it's not anymore, but when we're talking about where we might have gotten that symbol from, the moon's pretty good starting place. The sky, where all the aliens are? Yeah.
The symbol of the cycle of life itself that was defined from very earliest times by the periodicity of the moon, the different phases that it would take, and its effect.
But is the moon hard-coded into our DNA?
Only upon the tides and water, but also upon the human bodily cycle.
Oh, right. We have to explain why women are hysterical. I forgot.
Particularly that within the female cycle.
As we all know, men are anti-moon.
In Latin, the Vesica Piscis simply means bladder of the fish. You can find this symbol in paintings of Christ and the Buddha, and it can also be found in sacred geometry and Roman depictions.
If you take it at its basic level...
Whoa! You mean to tell me that Rome would have depicted this? The thing they had a term for? That's crazy.
The understanding that the universe starts with the creative force, which is symbolized by the circle. And that circle is all-knowing, it's all representative, okay? Everything exists.
Yeah, no one could have come up with circles independently. Nope. You know, no one could come up with circles independently. It's certainly not if they were paying attention to the moon. You got the crescent symbol. Why on earth are you going back for the circle symbol? You know.
In that circle, and paradoxically, it doesn't exist outside
I'm having
it.
such a good time.
Well, how does the energy in that circle know what's outside it? Well, it begins to separate. And once it separates, it goes from its divine nature into its divine opposites. So there's a tension of opposites that takes place.
What the fuck are you talking about? There's not a concept of divine opposites. You haven't done any of the legwork to bring us there about your particular, like, spiritual view of the universe. You're just suddenly introducing that concept as if we all know what you're talking about.
Because both circumferences are placed on the center of each circle.
The Star of David, a hexagram shape, is mostly associated with the Jewish community and to the first King David.
The Star of David has much older origins.
Wait, did they just mess up the editing of the audio?
A hexagram shape is mostly associated with the Jewish community and to the first King David.
The Star of David.
Oh my god, they just messed up the audio. The audio transition, you heard it right? Like, the narrator keeps talking and then, like, they just, like, messed up the fade out. That's crazy. No one at Gaia on the production team really gave a shit, did they?
David has much older origins, dating back to the beginning of this phase of humanity in Egypt, 10,000 BC. It was created...
Okay, what... Oh, Sonia Grace, author of Spirit Traveler. Okay, Sonia, you can't just say this phase of humanity and then be like, yeah, it started 10,000 years ago. What do you mean by this phase of humanity? Do you mean humanity was different before 10,000 BC? In what way was it different? What is the phase that you're talking about? Again, these people just introduce concepts and talk about it like it's already a thing that they've established. But, and I think that's kind of how they get you hooked, right? On this particular type of rhetoric. They will talk about it with a sense of authority, with, like, the sense or, you know, even, like, the trappings of authority. But, like, it is merely a ploy to get you hooked onto their particular woo.
In likeness of the pyramids, but also represents what so much of Egyptian mythology...
I'm sorry, what?
...of this phase or origins, dating back to the beginning of this phase of humanity in Egypt, 10,000 BC. It was created in likeness of the pyramids.
Citation needed. Unironic citation needed. How do you know that? Cite your sources. The Star of David was made, like, was the symbol of the Jews prior to that? Was it just like a pentagon, hexagon, however many sides it has? And then they came across the pyramids and they were like, ah, yes, we have to add the triangles. Is that how they came up with it? Or did, I'm just gonna spitball here. Maybe they already knew basic shapes prior to that.
But also represents what so much of Egyptian mythology talks about, which is duality. The Star of David was adapted by Moses and Abraham because they understood what the pyramids were actually used for.
What were they used for?
In the pagan religion, it was also used as...
You can't just say that and then move on as if you didn't say anything about it. Are you trying to allege that they were landing zones for spaceships? Like from the hit television series, Stargate SG-1? Please bring it back. Please bring back Stargate. I would really like that.
As a transport symbol. It was really a symbol to free the people.
The swastika.
I'm still waiting for you to explain what the pyramids were used for. You can't just drop that and move on.
Swastika symbol can be found in some Asian temples and in Tibet as a symbol of prosperity.
Yeah, is that the main place people find it these days? Is that the main thing it's known for now?
But to most people in the West, it refers to the evil connected with the Nazi regime during the Second World War. But its origin seems to go back even further, and its meaning represents an ancient power that can manifest in its center.
The origin of the swastika is...
What does that mean? Like what does that mean? Can you shoot lasers out of the center of it? Like what does that mean? You can't just drop these tidbits of lore for, whatever tabletop RPG you're running and not explain it. That's just poor DMsmanship.
Dated to 12,000 years ago in the Ukraine. We have found an ivory figurine with the swastika etched on it. It then gets transferred.
Oh, see, that guy at your tattoo parlor was definitely not a neo-Nazi, okay?
Into the Nordic realm. It's used throughout ancient Europe. And then it moves into Asia, where it becomes a symbol adopted by the Hindus and the Buddhists. Almost everywhere the swastika appears, it's a symbol of life, of luck, and prosperity.
Almost everywhere, sure. Not in America. I'm sorry.
Without the spiral, nothing can grow. A plant can't grow without the spiral motion. Blood can't flow through the veins of the human.
What? Plants can't grow without a spiral motion? Can you elaborate on that at all?
Body without moving in a spiral pattern.
Blood can't flow without running in a spiral pattern? No. What are you talking about? Did you just finish playing the Elden Ring DLC? Because I'll agree, it was really good. It was really good. I understand.
Blood doesn't move that way, it moves that way. So without that spiral motion...
My drill is the drill that will pierce the heavens? Question mark?
And without those four elements in balance, you have nothing.
The Ankh and the cross similarly are associated with Egypt. The Ankh is one of the most recognizable symbols from ancient Egypt, known as the key of life or the cross of life. Its association with the afterlife made it a popular, potent symbol for the Coptic Christians of Egypt.
Really, if you go into deep, deep antiquity, you discover that the Ankh predates Egypt, predates the land of Chem. It's antediluvial. So when you look at the information from the ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets, and you discover that Enki and Enlil had access to something called a Duran key, which was also something called a bond heaven-earth, where they would walk from Earth into their home planet.
Billy Carson wrote Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and I gotta be honest, we don't need to get our Google debunkers out for this one, okay?
Google debunkers.
Largely because he wrote the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, which is just a reference to this particular this particular thing. There we go. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. This is what it's about. Wowee! Sacred geometry, Thoth. Look at that. Wow. You could get the jewelry. Even on like a fringe website like that, they're still trying to hawk you junk.
And back again. Only the elite of the elite had access to this. And in order to activate these Stargates, you had to have a Jed pillar.
Ah, okay, we are still on... Guys, we're still on the Stargates! We're still doing the Stargate Conspiracy. This is wonderful! Oh my god. You know, is there like a Philip Zeba video about this? I feel like there has to be, right? It's gotta be... He's gotta have made at least one, right? Philip... Nope. Okay. Damn it. Just in case you guys don't know what this is about, all right? Oh boy.
In 2003, using the pretext of Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction and his alleged connections to Al-Qaeda, the United States invaded Iraq.
My fellow citizens,
at
this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations.
Yeah, you know, under these pretenses, we invaded Iraq, but mostly it was to, you know, hand oil over to Halliburton. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. It was a pretense. It was a pretense.
Disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign.
Okay, yeah.
After years of military operations, more than 1 million Iraqis were killed as a result of the invasion and the subsequent occupation of the country.
Truly terrible.
Iraq descended into sectarian strife after the U.S. occupiers dismantled Hussein's government and its military apparatus. The chaos helped give rise to the Islamic State group through its predecessor Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Many observers believe seizing Iraq's oil reserve and ousting Hussein were the primary reasons for the U.S.-led invasion.
Uh-huh.
But what if they were wrong?
Oh.
What if there really was a weapon of mass destruction of unprecedented power? What if Saddam Hussein...
He's literally using footage from the movie Stargate. Are you kidding me, dude?
...had a Stargate. That's the real reason for the invasion of Iraq, according to author Michael Salla. Let's find out if any of this is remotely plausible.
No, it's not. On its surface, it is not. Like on a surface level, without any kind of research into it, no, it's not. If you had the technology to transport to other planets and go back and forth, it would fundamentally alter the balance of power on this planet. I don't know, I'm sold. Look at all this footage, it looks real. Must be a documentary.
Hello, I'm Mike Droberg, a Marine Corps veteran, filmmaker, history enthusiast, and investigator of the supernatural. And we will answer these questions.
What if this guy, you know, chat, hear me out, okay? What if this guy actually discovered a Stargate? What if he actually did, though?
Today's episode of Forgotten History.
Aw, yeah. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Graphic design is my passion, I see.
Dr. Sala, an Australian national, obtained his MA in philosophy from the University of Melbourne and then his doctorate in government from the University of Queensland in 19...
I can't watch this entire thing. We can't do it. Here, just show me where. Okay.
Part of the reason why the Bush administration went to Iraq, to stop Hussein from revealing this information and to also get control of the Stargate for themselves. Salah says the portal was located under one of Iraq's ancient ziggurat temples. He believes that the US, Russia, Germany, and France have been aware that the Anunnaki left behind some very high-tech apparatuses and possibly weaponry when they abandoned Earth around 1700 BC, and that Saddam Hussein, getting assistance from Russian, German, and French archaeological teams for years.
Okay, so just as an... So you're saying that they left behind a bunch of highly advanced technology that Iraq just has never used. Incredible stuff. That's literally from the movie. No, it's literally the movie. Like, guys, no. You don't understand. The conspiracy theory for this is literally, what if Stargate was real, though? What it is quite literally, what if Stargate was real, except that we discovered the Stargate in, the late the early 2000s instead of like the late 90s.
An attempt to unravel and perhaps reverse engineer this apparatus, which Salah claims is probably far in advance of any technology we might have obtained from the Greys from Zeta Reticuli, and which is supposedly warehoused at Area 51 in Nevada.
That's so cool how he got real footage of an alien like that. All right. Anyway, I just wanted you all to know that this is blatantly just a ripoff of Stargate.
Killer Ankh in your hand. So the Ankh itself would have this Jed inside of it.
Yeah, no, that all just wasn't true. Yeah, like there's nothing to like Google debunk there.
Google debunkers.
Because like there's just nothing there. There's no information. Like, yeah, look, if Saddam Hussein, the guy who used chemical weapons on his own people, was sitting on a treasure trove of highly advanced alien weaponry and the ability to travel between like planets in a blink of an eye, yeah, I think he would have lasted a little bit longer when the US invaded, I'm just throw that out there.
And this jet looks similar to a Tesla coil, ironically. And then you had the Ankh itself. Now, this Ankh was technology along with this Jed, and it was oscillator, and it would oscillate at the frequency of the atomic structure of the owner of the Ankh.
Citation needed. Citation needed. Have you like if you're making a metal like structure or implement like an Ankh that is advanced technology that vibrates, that should still exist. We should be finding that all over ancient Egypt. We don't. They don't vibrate. They're not technology.
And if you didn't match the right frequency, you
ancient vibrators
couldn't walk through the Stargate.
Not far from the source of the Ankh derived another symbol.
As far back as I can work out, the cross really happens in Egypt. So the cross literally represents the
Egyptians invented crosses. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea. Definitely not from the symbol we just talked about. Or, two lines converging.
Materialization of the invisible into the physical plane. This eventually gets added to the mysteries teachings, and it becomes part of the initiation concepts. So going back to as far as I can work.
The aliens didn't want to protect Saddam because he refused to write a sequel to Zabiba and the King.
I don't know what that is about. A romance novel? Originally published anonymously in Iraq in 2000, written by Saddam Hussein? Wait, is that true? Is a bestseller in Iraq? It was written by ghostwriters with the direct influence of Saddam, according to the CIA. A 20-part television series and a musical based on it was later produced? I feel like so much more information about this book should be out there. What is the plot? The plot is a love story about a powerful ruler of medieval Iraq and a beautiful commoner girl named Zabiba. Zabiba's husband is a cruel and unloving man who rapes her. Jesus, Saddam! You went there immediately? Alright. The book is set in 7th or 8th century Tikrit, Hussein's hometown. Although the book is on the surface a romance novel, it is, and was intended to be read as, an allegory. The hero is Hussein, and Zabiba represents the Iraqi people. The vicious husband is the United States, and his rape of Zabiba represents the U.S. offensive against Iraqi forces at the end of the Gulf War. As illustrated by the date of the rape being January 17th, the same day U.S.-led forces commenced the 1991 offensive that drove Iraq out of Kuwait. In the novel, the king dies after capturing the rapists and avenging the honor of Zabiba. 20-part television series based on that. Wow. But is it hot and steamy, though? Like, is it a hot and steamy romance novel? Like, obviously not the rape part, but like after that, like, does Hussein wine and dine the Iraqi people? Also, Lily Love Stuff, thank you so much for the $5 dono and knowledge that Saddam Hussein either directly or indirectly wrote a romance novel. It's largely set in a largely desert country, so it is hot. You know, touche, trains and bullshit, touche.
Work out 6000 BC, they come back.
I think she needs therapy. She's a character in a romance novel written by a military dictator who did like countless war crimes. You know, I don't think she's gonna get therapy in that book.
Risen from the dead, and at that moment they applied the...
I'm sorry, wait, what? Okay.
So going back to, as far as I can work out, 6000 BC, they come back risen from the dead,
what?
And at that moment they applied the symbol of the man or the woman who is nailed to a wooden post or a beam or a cross, which means that by the time we get to the Roman era, this is a very profound symbol.
There is one more symbol that...
What are you talking about, man?
Roman era, this is a very profound symbol.
It's not, actually. In the Roman era, the cross represented, like, ultimate shame and humiliation. It was... I don't know if people understand this, okay? In contemporary times to Jesus Christ, the cross was seen as, like, the most humiliating way to die. It was one of the most humiliating ways you could be sentenced to death. You know, it not only was it intensely cruel, it, like, you know, what was public, was open to the public. It was open public torture and humiliation until you died. And if someone died via a cross in that time and you were Roman, you'd be like, oh, that sucks for them. Like, it would be like a deeply embarrassing thing that people would mock and laugh at. You know, the public shaming was part of the punishment, right? So it was that like that the symbol at the time for the Romans was not profound. It was a symbol of mockery, a symbol of ostracization, you know? Okay, just because she's not going to get any therapy doesn't mean they don't need it. Yes, Dithron, obviously I'm in favor of rape victims getting therapy. Do I need to specify that when we're talking about a romance novel written by Saddam Hussein? Do I need to say, oh, a bad thing happened to a character in a fictional work, they need therapy every single time something bad happens to someone in a fictional work? I feel like I shouldn't need to. Like, obviously, if that person were real, they should go get therapy. But also, something tells me that in 7th century Tikrit, there probably weren't therapists in the setting of the book. Now, if you wanna talk about like the setting of the book and like the need for therapy in medieval times, okay, we can do that, I guess. It was meant to be a little joke? Okay, I don't have the ability to understand that. I'm sorry.
There is one more symbol that looks like a cross, but it is called the Chicana.
Does this look like a cross, though? Because it doesn't to me. I was a very devout Christian for a very long time, so I know a thing or two about crosses. This doesn't look like a cross to me.
On the other side of the world, mostly in South America, a cross made out of cubes graces the presence of...
That's maybe the worst way of... I'm sorry, if you told me to make a cross out of cubes, the shape I would make would not be that one. Oh, shit, wait, who called the Nazca lines? Who called it? It's happening! It's happening!
Of even the Nazca area. But this symbol also suggests a passage through to another world.
Does it?
The Chicana is the equal...
did they do Stargates? They were trying to tell us about the Stargates? Is that what was happening? Do all ziggurats have Stargates under them?
Armed cross of the Peruvian Andes. Many different cultures use this. And in the center of it, it has a hole. And this hole was said by the Incas and various other cultures.
Do not fuck the hole.
To allow the divine influence to come through the center of the cross into the physical world and into human beings.
I'm sorry. It sounds to me like you're just describing a glory hole. You're just describing a glory hole, which, by the way, is also the name of a great movie that stars J.K. Simmons. You should go check it out. Well worth your time and watch. It's just called Glory Hole, and J.K. Simmons plays an eldritch god in a public bathroom that communicates from a glory hole. It's a really, really good movie. I very much enjoyed it. In fact, you know what? We're gonna play the trailer for it right now as a way to palate cleanse our minds, okay? From whatever is happening in this video. Oh, it might just be called Glory. J.K. Simmons. Glorious. It's called Glorious. Okay.
Hi, it's Brenda. I'll call you back.
Hey, Brenda. It's Wes calling you again. I just needed to hear your voice.
I love you very much.
know, some things may seem broken. Usually just means you stop trying.
Everything all right over there, my friend?
I'm not much of a bathroom talker.
You're not in the least bit curious as to what I have to say.
I'm just not into conversations with random dudes hiding out in bathroom stalls.
No one is coming to help you, friend.
Anybody! So you're a god living in a rest stop bathroom in a stall that's glory hole adjacent.
I am he. I am that God. The universe has a favor to ask. You need to satisfy my physical form. There's only one part of you that can do that.
I'm not doing it. I don't care how many people it saves. Total annihilation of all life in the universe.
Your feelings tear you up inside, pure and raw. That's what I need from you.
What did you do, Wes?
Makes me wish I'd driven the extra 40 miles to the next rest stop.
That wouldn't have helped.
Why? Is there a troll living in that one?
It's so good. I have watched it. I can personally vouch for this one. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. J.K. Simmons absolutely kills it in that movie. This is what happens to Ketherick Thorm after you kill him. Yeah. Why won't he fuck the hole? Look, I'm not gonna spoil the movie, all right? That trailer though, look, all I'm saying is watching that movie would be a infinitely better use of your time than watching anything that is currently streaming on Gaia. But yes, what this guy's currently describing is basically the plot of Glorious.
Kana cross is one of the most important symbols to the Incas. It's a simple three-step cross that actually encodes their view on life.
Does it?
One of the steps represents the stellar realm, the celestial realm, and the celestial bodies. The second step represents Earth life and all that we experience on Earth. And the third step represents the afterlife and the underworld.
Everything that you just saw is actually only the first half of this episode, and the second half is even more wild. Matias De Stefano explains how all of these 7 symbols are actually derived from a special device, one which contains each symbol in.
You started off with cave paintings, and then you just completely veered off into literal Iraqi Stargate nonsense. So, are you in the next episode? Are you gonna talk about the spaceship that is under the pyramids? Okay, cool.
Inside of it. One would have to understand the spirituality within in order to use the device, but upon doing so, you would unlock certain abilities that would essentially allow you to create new realities. They go a lot more into detail on what that means in the episode itself, and the show really does get even more interesting from there. If you want to watch more, as well as stream the guide.
This is all absolute nonsense. We're just gonna be done. You don't need the pitch for Gaia, all right? Oh God. Legend of Sean, you can share it on the Discord. We got a channel for music and such. I'd rather just watch Stargate SG-1. Also a great option. If you're into Stargates, Stargate SG-1's a good one. What a bunch of malarkey. Look, this is why I'm so against Woo in general, and crystal mommy nonsense. It leads directly to this, and you've noticed maybe throughout some of it that well, maybe not in this particular segment that we've gone over, but in the broader lore of this guy's understanding of the Anunnaki, the Jews are literally evil people from space that ruined paradise for everyone else. It is the way it intersects with a lot of other conspiracy theories is sussy, to say the least, about a lot of this.
biosphere.
Oh god, we don't need that. We don't need that. Sorry. Anyway, stay away from woo. It's bad for your health and bad for your mind. Like, this isn't even really, like, good for, like, dinner party conversation. This is, like, good for, like, I don't know, being on your guard so you don't accidentally get sucked into it, you know? So, it's true.